Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be interviewing a zombie from George Romero's 1978 immortal classic Dawn of the Dead. Not just any zombie, the Hare Krishna Zombie himself, Mike Christopher. Yes, Mike Christopher today is on the show. And I found out that at the time of his appearance in the movie, he was in a band called Fluid. And so he was on the trajectory of being a musician. So I'm going to ask him all about that, about, how the band formed, what became of the band, and how the heck he got into the movie. So, here is my interview with Mike Christopher.
Hello, Tommy.
Hey, Mike, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
Good, man. How's it going?
I am great. It's such an honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
All right, cool. Glad to be here. Thanks for getting a hold of me. or digging me up.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, going back to the beginning, I was doing research and I found out that you were in a band called Fluid at the time of Dawn of the Dead. So was music on your radar, something like that early on?
Well, when I was a kid, I was a church organist for Sacred Heart Catholic School, a Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Emsworth. And so I've been a musician since I was really young. I was doing that like in maybe the 7th or 8th grade.
Mm-hmm. Was organ your first instrument?
Yeah, it was, and then I bought a portable organ and an amplifier, and I got into a band with my brother. My brother played drums, and so we played in bands all throughout high school. We used to travel Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland, Western New York, and we even made it out to Iowa all the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So is that your only instrument?
So I played the tuba and the sousaphone in high school.
Nice.
I got after a while I picked up a R2600, and I got into I had a band. It was called UFO. Right around the time that the rock band UFO came out. Well, we didn't last too long. We got into a truck wreck, and we lost almost all of our equipment.
Oh, wow.
So that, it was actually the first incarnation of the ball band. It's out of the space ball band stick, and so that was the first time was probably around '73, and then I kicked around Pittsburgh doing odd jobs and stuff, and went to welding school. I was a welder for a while, and then I got into electronics school.
Mm-hmm.
And did a bunch of stuff like that. But the Fluid band was pretty cool. We used to beam onto the stage with a plexiglass tube,
Mm-hmm.
and we had geodesic domes built around the keyboards. We had 2 keyboard players, and the saxophone player from the Fluid band is actually the zombie that's on the cover of Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were you? What kind of music were you guys?
Well, it was like theatrical. We called it a theatrical space rock program.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like orchestral rock, Genesis, yes, kind of stuff. Not really that. I mean, that's like the closest thing that I've heard people compare it to.
Oh, so progressive rock.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, progressive rock. We had no guitar players, but 2 keyboard players, the saxophone player, drummer, and the lead singer played flute.
Nice. What
Yeah.
year did?
Growing up in Pittsburgh, they were
Oh, go ahead.
really got interested in progressive. It was more, I mean, growing up in Pittsburgh and stuff, the progressive rock Throwback wasn't really a big deal back then. And, so we didn't last. That band didn't last very long either.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't play bars because we had a big stage set up.
Mm-hmm.
That's how limited our activities were. But it was a lot of fun. We used to live in a 1,300-seat theater in Homestead, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, paying your dues.
Yeah.
How many years were you guys together? Like 2 years or something?
Yeah, probably 2 years. We first started out as a band called Changes. We were doing holiday in circuit and fraternity parties and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got tired of playing other people's music, and we started writing our own stuff. We were actually thinking about doing a different story. It was called Dwarf Longnose.
Yeah.
European Fairy Tale. And we were going to make a theatrical production out of that. But a couple of the guys in the band wanted to reinstigate the ball band thing, the space thing, and we went off in that direction. So
Nice.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Then after the Fluid, right around the time the Fluid band broke up, that's when we got the interest from George Romero for the saxophone player and myself to be part of the movie. And Joe Shelby and the Lees brothers from Dawn of the Dead, they were instrumental in making the contact between the Fluid band and George Romero. Because we had done a couple of movies for Michael and Lenny Lees. Lenny Lees is a Machete Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
We had done some soundtrack work for their two movies. And then Joe Shelby, who was managing the theater, was a part manager for the Fluid band. And between the three of them, they somehow got us in touch with George Romero.
Wow. So it wasn't like he saw you guys in the club, right?
No, we didn't play any clubs. We played at a concert, maybe one other place, and maybe two concerts, and that was about it.
Mm-hmm. So at the time, had you have seen Night of the Living Dead?
Oh yeah, everybody in Pittsburgh saw Night of the Living Dead. You know, it's a really big deal back then, especially being filmed in Pittsburgh. You know, they had Chiller Theater was the local like Saturday night horror movie host, and Bill Cardille was Chili Billy Cardille, is what he called himself.
Right.
He was Laurie Cardille's dad.
Yep.
So yeah, everybody watched all his horror movies. We saw them. You know, I mean, I never dreamt that I'd, go to conventions and see his daughter there because we were both in George Romero movies. But just one of those things, the way it worked out. You know.
Yeah, I've interviewed Lori. She's a sweet lady.
Yeah, she is.
Did Tom Savini personally apply your makeup?
I believe he put on the hairpiece on the back.
Oh.
But he didn't put the blue makeup on. It was, we would go into a big room in the mall where they were making up all the zombies, and there was, a whole army of makeup people because they couldn't start doing anything until after the mall closed.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like a limited time to get all the zombies ready, because then we had to, as soon as the mall opened, we had to pull out of there. So really tight shooting schedule every night.
Yeah. Did it take a while to apply the makeup to you?
Oh, maybe half hour or so. Half hour, 40 minutes, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny because
just a solid gray. It was a solid gray. And it looks blue in the movies and during certain scenes. I don't know why. But the odd thing about that is Lord Krishna, who is the deity that's worshipped by the Hare Krishna people. he is actually blue in most of the paintings of it. So maybe I was channeling him or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because, back then you saw Hare Krishnas in like every movie, like Airplane and stuff, and now you don't see them anywhere.
Yeah, well, in the late, Dawn of the Dead came out was filming in the late 70s, and the Krishnas were really popular in the late 60s and early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of scandal, I think, and it kind of blew their organization apart. But yeah, George Romero put that. He needed something different. I asked him why the Hare Krishna character for that scene. He said he wanted something really powerful for that scene. He wanted it to be different from all the other zombies.
Yeah.
The other zombies are mostly remembered for the way they were killed.
Mm-hmm.
And my character was part of a very pivotal moment in the film where Galen didn't have a gun and she didn't have weapons. She was totally defenseless. She was pregnant, and right after my character made it into the room and almost killed her, she decided to learn how to shoot and fly the helicopter. So she became an independent, self-sufficient woman, which wasn't really the way things were going at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think your character is probably the most easily recognizable zombie in the movie, next to Sharon Hill's nurse and Scott Reiniger's zombie.
Right, and the escalator zombie was pretty popular too.
Which one?
That was Sharon. The escalator zombie.
Yeah.
The guy that was going up and down the escalator all the time. Yeah, he's very memorable.
Yeah. It reminded me of those crazy robots in George Lucas's THX 1138. Like the same idea, same kind of surreal humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The movie hadn't had a chaotic, insane schedule. Were you there the entire shoot?
No, I was just there for 2 nights in the mall and one afternoon in the hideout, which was in downtown Pittsburgh in George Romero's office building.
Mm-hmm. So you weren't there that long?
Yeah. No, just over 2 nights, and my shoot in the office building at the hideout went by so fast I barely remember it. They were really under the gun at that point, and we had to shoot everything with one take. So even the flare scene, we didn't even rehearse it. He just told me walk through the boxes and crash them down, and then go after Galen. And she pulled out that flare and she lit it off and she jammed it right in my face. I mean, I couldn't believe how close it was. That's why I put up my hands trying to block some of the sparks because they were hitting me in the face.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had glasses on, And then they started hitting me on the robe, and I started worrying that my robe was going to catch on fire because I didn't even know what the material was or anything, And I'm trying to hold it together because I wanted to yell cut, but I didn't want to ruin the take,
Yeah.
And then the hot sparks fell down on the floor, and then I started walking through them. They were burning the soles of my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And we got through that and knocked the flare out of her hand. And then we went on to the next section. I mean, that was the only take of that.
Wow.
So, yeah, George kind of apologized one time. He said he was sorry he didn't spend more time with my character because it just almost came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
And but he said we were under so much pressure to get it shot. We just had a very limited amount of time. But you don't even really see me getting killed. And actually, I just got a rifle butt. I got a rifle butt to the head, so technically, my character wasn't one of the zombies that was famous for the kill scene because they wouldn't have even killed me.
Yeah. Was it cold every day?
Oh yeah, it was really cool. I wanted to wear sandals, because of the cold floors in the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, the mall, it was cold in Pittsburgh, but the mall was, heated and stuff. But the floors were really cold. But they told me they didn't want me to wear sandals. It wasn't part of the costume. So I'll bring a pair of sandals. You can keep it with the rope as long as you need it. They said, no, they want me in my bare feet. So that's how I ended up walking on the hot sulfur sparks from the flare with my bare feet.
Oh man, yeah, that just I can't even begin the process of that. That's just how freezing cold it was, and just back then in the 70s, you guys can get away with that guerrilla style of filmmaking.
Yeah, well, especially the big guy in with the huge belly and the swimming trunks.
Mm-hmm.
So he came in the swimming trunks. He came down in the swimming trunks because he wanted to be recognized as a standout zombie. But
yeah.
The next scenes that he had to be part of, the outside, you see him crashing into the glass doors. The temperature dropped like 30 degrees. So the one day he shot, it was nice and it was acceptable to be in the bathing suit. Then the next time he came by, it was freezing.
Man, I just think this movie is a masterpiece that holds up, and I think George Romero was all about camaraderie in his filmmaking back then.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me what's it like to work with George Romero, but I didn't even work with him. He would be far down the hall for my establishing shots, and I barely saw the guy because he was all the way down there when the zombies were walking through the mall, and then he was off in the corner of the hideout, and I remember we were almost ready to shoot my first scene, and he didn't really say much, and I remember I didn't know really what question to ask, so I said, "Do I have any lines or anything?" I never saw a script. I didn't even know what the movie was about. I just knew it was George Romero and making another zombie movie. And then he said, "No, zombies don't talk. They don't even grunt." And that's like the only thing he said, except okay, I'm going to have you walk through these bushes at the boxes and push them over, and then I'm going to have you go towards Galen, and then we're going to have you trying to grab her feet, and then these guys are going to come in. They're going to hit you in the shoulder with a rifle butt. We're going to make it look like they hit you in the head. But we didn't talk. I didn't talk to any of the cast members while I was there. I talked to a couple of zombies that I knew while we were waiting for it to be filmed. But yeah, everybody that was involved in the production, they all knew each other. It took them a long time to work on that movie. They had to take a break during Christmas because they put up the Christmas decorations. They did all this filming ahead of time, and then they had to completely stop and put the whole thing on hold because the mall was decorated for Christmas.
Yeah. Wow. I think that Day of the Dead was his last great movie, and then he got kind of demonetized by the studio system, and his movies weren't quite, on that same energy again.
Yeah, well, there is always that energy. It happens with rock bands too. Some of the early albums that the bands make have a certain life in it, and a certain vibrancy to them. And then once they get hooked up into the studios and all that, it all changes. But I really like Diary of the Dead. I went and saw that twice when it was in the theaters. I really liked that movie. I thought it had a lot of the quality that Dawn had. A lot of people didn't like it, but I really liked it.
Yeah, I think he did his best with the second trilogy and stuff, but like the original, had, like I said, had such a camaraderie and such an energy that movies he made after that, that original trilogy just didn't have. Things changed.
Right.
Well,
yeah. Well, I think Dawn is so popular and such a great story because to me it seems that it's a prophecy, not really a horror movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if you look what's going on politically, there's hordes and hordes of people that are just like mindlessly screaming,
Yeah. I know there's such a social commentary to the movie that just holds up today. You know, I mean, that's why every zombie, represented, what was going on in the world at the time.
It
We just lost.
it was pretty.
Go ahead.
It was a pretty amazing experience all in all. I can't believe that conventions still want us to go and visit people, and people want to get our autographs and stuff. It was, 40 years later.
Yeah. I mean, just people who go crazy over the movie. It looks like
Yeah.
we just lost Joe Pilato. Did you know him well?
No, I didn't know him very well. I don't really. After Dawn was filmed, a short while later, I moved out of Pittsburgh. While I was going to electronics school, I was one of the laser operators at the planetarium for a show called Laserium. It was mostly rock music played in a planetarium, and then they had laser effects and patterns and stuff on the inside of the planetarium domes where they had moving stars and stuff like that. So I joined them, and I started working with them for a while, and then there was an opportunity to go out to Los Angeles. So I moved out to Los Angeles and went to work with Laser Images, and lost contact with everybody. That's why I've only been doing conventions for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know they were going on. I didn't even know they were going on.
I just started going to conventions 3 years ago because I didn't know that I had always known that they went on, but I didn't know that they were that popular. Next thing I know, there's one every weekend, and I started going to them, and now I'm hooked on them.
Yeah, it's pretty saturated now. And they've gotten to be real corporate too. Most of the Comic Cons and pop culture conventions are owned by corporations now.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who've been going to them since the 80s are a little disappointed in that now because it seems to be more about, making money than about the fans. But, there are people who go sign there that still care about the fans.
Yeah. Well, I usually hang out. With the fans when I go to the conventions. I know this one guy said, "Well, man, I have to tell you, I can't believe it. Here it is, 3:00 in the morning, and I'm standing in a hotel hallway talking to the Hare Krishna Zombie."
Oh, that's cool. So the movie.
Yeah, after the bars, the bars closed down. Oftentimes somebody will run out and get a 12-pack. And whoever's left at the bar just wanders out front by the front door of the parking lot and has another beer before we go to sleep.
That's cool. So the movie comes out and becomes critically acclaimed, but you went to LA, you said, and you designed synthesizers, right?
Yeah, I did. First, I did the laser light show thing, and then I worked with the company. I wasn't a designer. I was the head of the quality control department for a while. And then after that, I colorized black and white movies. And then after that, I got into quality control for videotape mastering. I used to watch television 12 to 18 hours a day, writing quality reports for digital videotape mastering.
Mm-hmm. And then,
yeah, and I pretty much stopped writing music. Just for a short period, whenever I was working at Oberheim, I did a little compilation, a little collection of ambient synthesizer music called Suspended Thoughts.
Oh, nice.
A guy from Italy is supposed to be putting one of my songs from that compilation onto vinyl and pressing it for European distribution. It reminds me, I'm going to call him. He's supposed to be out already. I haven't heard from him.
Mm-hmm. And it was 30 years before you made another movie.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I did a couple movies when I lived in the Tampa St. Pete area. couple independent productions, and then I was a ticket scalper in Herschel Gordon Lewis's movie The Outlaw Show, and I was I played a mechanic. I had a cameo as a mechanic in Plan 9 from Outer Space, the remake of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Mm-hmm. I was just reading that.
And there was
Go ahead.
And then there was the Joe Vampire disaster. I actually had a lead role in an ultra-low budget movie filmed in the Tampa area called Joe Vampire. It was a really cool little story, and the rough cut came out really good. The rough cut was about 90 minutes, and I was supposed to do the soundtrack for it, but I came to a heated disagreement with the producer who wanted the soundtrack done in 2 weeks, and I said, I'm not going to do a soundtrack in 2 weeks. There's no way I'm going to do that. And one thing led to another. And finally, I told him to shove it, actually. And, so he put on a 60-minute version with one of the worst soundtracks ever in the history of film. And he put these trailers for these other really disgusting movies that he's making in front of it, 13 minutes of trailers that he couldn't skip over. And he totally ruined the movie. So I don't promote it or anything, but if anybody wants to see a little bit of it or hear some of my music composition, I did get 10 minutes of the opening of the movie. I have a Vimeo page. You just have to Google Mike Christopher Vimeo, and I have a 10-minute short excerpt of the opening of the movie, and I did the sound for it, and I'm the lead actor in that section. But it's supposed to go on for 90 minutes, but at 30 minutes it didn't make any sense. I mean, at 60 minutes it didn't make any sense at all. So I don't really promote it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was reading that you just did a new Night of the Living Dead movie.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Matt Clark did that, and it's kind of a backstory. It's a prequel to what happened in Night of the Living Dead. It's not like a redo per se, but a lot of people were wondering how did that all happen? You know, how did they end up at the graveyard and stuff like that? So he wrote a whole opening to the movie, which it came out really good. When I read the script, I couldn't put it down. I just visualized the whole movie just from reading the script. It was a really powerful script. There's a bunch of Romero characters in it. I think the helicopter zombies in it, and Judith O'Dea's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the very beginning of the movie. I'm a psychiatrist who is like the general manager or the operations officer of the insane asylum. But I can't really go into it and tell you anything more about it because it's not out yet.
Yeah. Do you know when it is coming out?
I really wish I did. I just got a hold of him today, and he's having trouble getting the money to finish it off. He said the whole movie's done. It's 95% done, but he just needs some more financial backing to actually finish it and get it distributed. So he's working on it. So if anybody out there has any money, maybe he's looking for an investor.
Is Russ Reiner and John Russo involved?
Boy, I don't know. I don't really keep in contact with them at all.
Oh, okay.
I see him occasionally at conventions and stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty much blackballed from the whole Romero zombie and whatever population because of my political views and the fact that I'm in the remake. They don't like that at all. So I doubt they have anything to do with it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I'm considered a traitor. I'm considered a traitor for being a part of it. Hey.
Do you have any upcoming convention appearances?
One in November, a weekend of hell in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just about it. None of the main zombies have been at a major convention in the U.S. in about 4 years.
Wow. It's been a while.
So I don't know what the we used to go to Dawn of the Dead conventions, where we'd be there as the zombies, and then they had the main characters there, and George Romero was there, and that went on for about the first 5 years I was in conventions, and then all of a sudden something happened. Like the promoters don't call me back. We never get invited to anything, and there's a rumor that George Romero's convention agent thought the zombies were taking too much money away from George, and he didn't feel that we deserved to be there since we didn't have any speaking roles. We weren't professional actors. Before the movie started, we're just extras, I guess. So extras don't deserve to go to conventions, even though the Walking Dead zombies, they go to conventions, but.
Yeah.
It's a really different crop. A lot of Dawn fans like The Walking Dead, but a lot of Walking Dead fans don't really know a lot about the Dawn of the Dead movies, the George Romero movies.
Yeah.
Because you have to buy them. They're not on television, so they don't have any much of an impact in the mainstream zombie culture that's going around today.
Yeah.
It's just kind of sad because if they were on, Netflix and they were on, different streaming sites, I think it would sell more movies. But I don't know the movie, and it's not my decision.
Mm-hmm.
It plays in Europe. Dawn of the Dead actually plays. I've seen it advertised on the television schedules. People send me screenshots of it. It actually plays over in the UK, but doesn't happen here.
Yeah, that's terrible though. And how short-sighted it is. That's unfortunate. About the Romero camp and because I think that all the zombies in the movie have a right to be there as much as the people who do have lines.
Right. Well, it's a political thing, and I can't understand it, but it's the way it is. You hear about the 3D version of Dawn of the Dead?
No, I didn't know that there was a 3D version.
Yeah, I read something in one of the trade magazines about it one time, and they listed the name of this company in California, where George didn't do it. I guess Rubenstein did it. He had them work up a short compilation of a few scenes to test the 3D process to see if it would look any better, And then George loved it. According to what I read, George loved it. I never talked to him about it. So they went and hired a Korean company to do the movie, and they had a premiere in South Korea, and it played at Cannes Film Festival, and it showcased probably, I know, once in Los Angeles somewhere, and I believe once somewhere else, but other than that, nobody else has really seen it.
Wow.
Yeah, supposedly it came out really great. I hope to see it before I die.
Yeah, I'd like to see it too. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It cost over $6 million.
Wow, $6 million.
So it would be nice to see it, but I guess one of the problems is the advertising budget for something like that is so incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
In order to do a theatrical release, you'd have to put the promotion into it and have it, in all the 3D, the theaters that are capable of projecting 3D. It would probably look great if it came out good, if they could do it in those IMAX theaters.
Oh yeah, IMAX. That would be great. Yeah. More expensive than the actual movie itself.
Oh, right. Yeah, I read this other article once about 3D imaging, and they said with these imaging programs they have, the process can actually take any 2D movie make a 3D version out of it. For somehow they figured out how to do it. I don't know what the process was. But the article that I read said whenever they tried to do 3D processing of the moon, they couldn't get the moon landing shots. They couldn't get it to work.
Wow.
I don't know really what that means, but yeah, it's something with the depth of field, and if you take one and just offset it slightly and then have the computer do the compilations to extract the third dimension out of two-dimensional film, it can happen. So it's not like there's a bad version of the 3D version of Dawn of the Dead, which you have to wear the glasses with to see it. But
yeah,
I've never seen that one either.
Yeah, the only thing is, though, after you're done watching it with those glasses, your eyes feel like really funny and they're like watery and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, Mike.
I like the.
Go ahead.
I said I like the 3D book. You know, you can put your glasses on and look at the stuff in 3D, but I don't think I would like to sit with those glasses on for a while.
Yeah, especially a 2.5 hour movie like Dawn of the Dead. You know, that'd probably drive you nuts. Well, Mike, I thank you so much for coming on today. This was really great. You had some good stories.
All right, yeah. Thanks for digging me up there, and give me a shout when this thing comes out. I'll promote it on my Twitter and my Facebook page.
Absolutely, and I hope you get booked for a con in California. That you get to come back to the States to do a con soon.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We'll see. Maybe if the 3D version comes out sometime, they'll be more interested in bringing the zombies along.
Oh, I hope so. That'd be just spectacular. Yeah. All right, Mike.
All right, man.
Thank you, and have yourself a great day.
Good luck with your show.
Thank you, sir.
All right, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. Mike Christopher. Ain't he a cool dude? Thank you so much, Mike. I'm so glad that we got to have that chat about the legacy of Dawn of the Dead and the making of it. And, wow, I have guests with interesting careers and lives on this show. I am so blessed and so lucky that I get to talk to people who are just so cultured and so wise, like Mike Christopher. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.